Hey, what's going on guys, Alex here from Simple Mods, and I hope you enjoyed that quick time lapse of the Cooler Master MasterCase Pro 6. I mainly put that together because I did actually take apart the case fully and then I've put it back together just to see how these 10 hard drive cages that I fitted inside of it would sort of work. Now of course I am getting ready for another new case mod, and this one's going to be quite special because it will be a sort of custom server case mod, and it is something that I haven't done before. Now I have 8 of these 10 terabyte Seagate Iron Wolf hard drives that I will fit in the case. I do have 10 hard drive cages in there, so the 2 at the bottom were already there, and then I fitted the 6 more in the top. So I will fit 8 hard drives in this case to start off with, and then I will actually have room for 2 more to expand it later on. But still, 80 terabytes is going to be pretty crazy. But I will get into more of the details of the server in another video. For this video, I mainly want to talk about the case mods that I'm about to do to this case. So given the Seagate Iron Wolf hard drives, I'm actually going with a Game of Thrones Stark-inspired direwolf theme. So that's going to be quite cool, and it's going to go well with the Iron Wolf theming that Seagate have set out for these drives. So in order to fit the 10 hard drive cages that I have in there at the moment, I haven't actually done any modifications to the case, so you can actually see the entire progress at the start of the video in the time lapse of how I've managed to fit them inside. And what I've actually done is I did actually have some other hard drive cages from other Cooler Master cases that I have worked on in the past, because mainly Cooler Master have done quite different versions of the MasterCase series. So this is the MasterCase Pro 6. They have started off with the MasterCase 5, the 5 Pro, and then they actually have the Maker series as well. So they have done slight modifications to the case, but it's mainly been on the sort of outside panels, and the inside has stayed more or less the same. So you could actually fit these hard drive cages into other versions of the MasterCase series as well. And if you want to do something like this to your Cooler Master case, then you can actually buy the hard drive cages separately from Cooler Master, and you can quite easily fit them in. So I've fitted the one cage here with the 3 hard drive trays in it, another one here with the 3 hard drive trays, and then a one with 2 towards the top, and that has pretty much filled out the entire section towards the front panel of the case. So I have actually done an overview video of the Cooler Master MasterCase Maker 5T, so you can check out more details in that video. We'll link it somewhere on the screen, and I'll put it down in the description as well. So in terms of the internals, it's pretty much the same. The only difference with the MasterCase Pro 6 is they do have different sort of outer panels. Now they do have this panel on the back as well, which is just attached with magnets, so you can easily pull it off. And this you would sort of have to pull on and off as you would want to access the internals of your case, because when you do have this on, it does actually cover the thumb screws at the back for the side panel, so you wouldn't be able to take those off. But once your computer is finished and you do have this panel on, it does give it a more clean, sort of complete look, and it does actually hide some of the cables at the back as well. So it is fully exposed, but it does have just this sort of side area that goes all around. So that's that one. Now in the top and the front as well, they do have them on with magnets, and they do have some springs, so you can lift them off like that. So you can do sort of the same in the front, and that's mainly because the case, pretty much the top and the front is just fully enclosed. It's just one whole panel, and it does get some airflow towards the back, towards the front, and then at the bottom here. But if you do want more airflow, that's why they have them on these springs. So you do get this little gap here just for some more airflow. And then of course you can close it as well. And similar to other master cases before, pulling it off, you can actually pull it off completely. So there you can see the whole panel is pretty much fully enclosed. And then it does have the I/O section. You can access it here. And in the top, so you have your power button, front panel USB and all that. Now same with the front. Get a better look there. Of course, you can open it up just like that if you do plan on putting any 5¼ inch bays there, so you can access them like that, but then you can put it off completely as well. So that's pretty much it in terms of the outside of the MasterCase Pro. Now it doesn't have those handles anymore that you do get on other master cases such as the 5 and the Makers. It does still have these handles here, but they are plastic, and you can't access them once you do have all the outer panels on. And of course the plastic handle won't be able to pretty much carry an entire case once you fill it up with all your components and all that. But yeah, I do like this case quite a lot actually, and it's something a bit different in terms of what they've done on the outside. So what I'm going to do in terms of the case mod, and I will get into it quite shortly, is I'm going to actually be cutting out the entire section of the front and on the top just to open it up, and then I will have another overlaid acrylic piece over it. I will put that on just before I paint and do all that. So that's going to be in a Game of Thrones theme as well. We'll do the same thing on the top. And then what I'm going to do on the inside, I'm not going to do any major modifications to the internal layout or anything like that, as I will pull off the case completely. I will actually paint this midsection here white. I will paint the motherboard tray white as well, and I might paint the hard drive cages white as well, and that should give it a really nice contrast. So of course I'm going with Stark, so sort of like Jon Snow. So it's all going to be sort of a white, black sort of combination. I will add some weathering as well, just to give it some battle damage or something like that, given that it is Game of Thrones. And then the outer panels, once I do make the cutouts and do the overlay, acrylic and all that, I will paint those white as well, and I'll add some battle damage as well. And then I was thinking for the back section, it is pretty much a normal backside panel. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a nice big Stark Direwolf logo. I think that should look quite well. So yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time, guys. I'm going to get straight into it, so let's check it out. All right, guys, so here we are outside on my balcony now. I've covered the panels, and I have actually marked my cut holes here. So what I'm about to do now is just make a sort of incision with the Dremel tool, sort of on each line, so that I can get the jigsaw blade in there, and then I can make sure I can cut out the entire section up quite easily. Alright guys, here we go. So I've got the cutouts in both of the panels. Now it was a bit trickier than I thought it was going to be, mainly because of the plastic, and it kept melting off as I kept cutting into it. It didn't really matter how slow or fast I went with the jigsaw, it just kept melting, so I just had to go through it just a few times through the cuts, and then I was finally able to pull off the plastic out. So what I'm going to do now is going to peel off this painter's tape here that I used to protect the panel, clean off these edges, and then these cuts will be ready to go. So the panels have been cut, as you can see, and I've cleaned them up as much as I could just by filing them. So these should be good to go. I just have to clean them up a little bit more to have a bit of dust on them from all the cuts and everything. But yeah, that's the cuts. Those are the cuts there. So I'll put these aside for now. And what I've also done is, of course, I've gone ahead and completely disassembled the case. I've removed absolutely everything from it. So it came off quite easily. Everything came off with a screwdriver, so that was quite easy to do. The only thing was with the case feet, I did actually have to unpeel the sort of little rubber pads that they had on each side, because there was actually screw holes that were hiding underneath those. So I've put those aside, and I should be able to stick them back on quite easily. And now just in the front section of the case, the foot at the front, it does have an LED in here. I believe this one will light up white. I'm not actually sure if it's RGB or not, and does have a SATA cable just here. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to give that a go once I put the case back together. So what I'm gonna do now, guys, is pretty much gonna get my electric drill, and I'm gonna drill out every single rivet so I can pull the case apart completely, so I can paint the mid plate here and the motherboard tray like I said before. So I'm gonna pretty much leave it with that once I disassemble the case. And then in the next video, I'll show you guys the painting, and then I'll finish off the outer panels and all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next part in this case mod series with the Cooler Master MasterCase Pro 6. Cheers.